Okay, so this is my official start of 2021 main series Pokemon game tier list. I did this in March 2019, so this is almost 2 years after that. I'm excited to see how my opinions have changed. Definitely the biggest thing that has changed for me is, I've started doing a lot of speedruns in the last year, so that has definitely changed my opinion on games and how I see games for sure. So this list is my personal ranking. It's my personal experience with Nuzlocke's casual playthrough speedruns, the design of the region, the design of the Pokemon in the game, the post-game, everything. This is just everything. This is not what I think are necessarily objectively the best. These are based on my experiences and how I would... if someone asked me my experience with the games, how I would rank them. Yeah, these are going to be fun. You can post the tier list in Friend Zone in the Discord. That would be good. So yeah, if I were to do this a little more like objectively, I would definitely approach this in a different manner. But how good they are in general is also part of my factoring in. That is one of my factors: is how good are they? How good is the game in the context of all of Pokemon? So there's like a ton of factors that I'm going to be putting into this. So chat, what should I start with? Give me a game that I start with. What's my base game that I kind of go off of? I have a lot of games here, man. We have a lot of games. Ooh. I love Pokemon. Pokemon's just great. Can I just say that? Every Pokemon game is great. Except for Fire, Leaf, Green. Those games suck. Let's see. Gen 1. All right, I'll start with Gen 1. Okay, so Gen 1... okay, I'm probably not going to make too many sub-tiers, like A+, C+, maybe. I'm probably not going to go in generation order. I want to be sporadic. Okay, so you have red, blue, and yellow. Okay. Red, blue, yellow. So, for starters, if I'm literally just judging based off of my personal experiences with these games, these are D tier. These are D tier games. If I were just to view these games on their own, they are not fun to play and I do not enjoy them. Let me just say that right away. I know I just said I like all Pokemon games. Here's why they're not D, though. They get bonus points for me because, first of all, when you play the game, you do have that appreciation for the fact that this is where it all started. This is where Pokemania happens. This is the most active Pokemon speedrunning scene. I said that Pokemon speedrunning is something that is a lot more important to me now. There are definitely some cool ROM hacks out there of, Gen 1. So those are like little bonus points. Those are like smidgens, you know what I mean? But Gen 1 gets a lot of that, Yes, I am a Zoomer. Yes, call me a Zoomer. These games are flawed in a lot of ways. But hey, you know what? You can have Pokemon without it. On their own, they're like D, but you add all those kind of respect attributes to it, they go up a leg for me. And one day I'll go and I'll learn the speedrun for Gen 1, and it'll be interesting, I'm sure. Sorry, Gen 1. That's just how it's got to be, That's just how it's got to be. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to... You have to remember they're also 22 years old. Yes, and they did not age well, in my opinion. Speaking of things that did not age well, Fire Red and Leaf Green. Let's stay in Kanto. D tier games. I do not like these games. The speedrun's really cool. All right, we're talking about speedruns. The speedrun's pretty nifty, and Pulse has made me gain a higher appreciation for Fire Leaf Green, solely based off of that. But they're still D tier. I will never forget when I was younger, and I played Fire Leaf Green after playing Ruby Sapphire and like Diamond and Pearl. I went back, I went back. I backtracked to Fire Leaf Green so I could play Kanto. And I wanted to use Crobat for the first time. And I wanted to use Steelix. I literally had both of them on my team. And I couldn't evolve Onix or Golbat. And I didn't realize until like the end of the game. The EXP share is hard as shit to get. I get it. It's like it's meant to get you to catch Pokemon. You need to get 50 Pokemon. When I was playing that when I was younger, that was frustrating to me. It was not fun. It was not fun. And going back to it, they did not age well. And I don't like these games. I just don't like these games. They're not fun. They're not fun to me. They're really just not. Okay, let's bring some positivity up in here. Let's do something positive. Okay, first of all, I love Pokemon games, so we need an S+ tier. We need an S+ tier. Okay. And in S+, Heartgold and Soul Silver are going to go there. I'm the 4th gen gamer. They have to be there, you know? Heartgold and Soul Silver are fantastic games. They didn't age great, I will admit that. Namely in their level curve. But holy shit, the content. Holy shit, the content. The content. Heartgold, in my opinion, I know this is a controversial opinion. Also, yeah, Sevii Island's trash. I agree. In my opinion, Heartgold was peak pixel art, sprite work aesthetic. I know a lot of people are a fan of Black and White, Black 2, White 2, but those games look fantastic on an emulator, upscaled. Those games look beautiful. And Melon DS, you upscale it, it looks great. But on a DS or not upscaled, those games look like ass, in my opinion. I don't like their color palette. I'm already hating on Gen 5 before we even are on Gen 5. Let me go back to the positives of Heartgold before I bash on Gen 5. I really think that they hit the aesthetic so perfectly, and you can get like cool legendaries, and you know, I feel like Heartgold and Soul Silver is kind of like what wrapped up the first 4 generations of Pokemon together so nicely and just in a nice bow. And I think that they're really special games for that. Like you have the Sinnoh ruins that tie together like the Gen 4 Sinnoh games and Johto. You have those sort of events. Yo, Jasmine, thank you for the thank you so much for the gift sub. Thank you. Get some hype for that, guys. But you have that connection to Sinnoh ruins, man. Bringing these games before properly playing Gen 5. Listen, I'll go over my Gen 5 experience. It'll be great. But yeah, you know, you have Kanto, so there's an obvious link to Kanto. And then Gen 3, you have like Steven Stone makes an appearance, and like there's the Latios event in that game. And these games are just, it's comfort food. It is Pokemon comfort food. There's the Battle Frontier, there's all of Kanto, and there's a charm to these games. There's really nothing in this game that is not just a pure joy to play. Even like Pokeathlon. I only tried that in Cutthroat Season 3 for the first time, but that was fun. These are just fun games. I just found out for the first time doing Battle Frontier like a week or two ago with Allie that there's scratch-off tickets. This game just, it's the gift that keeps on giving, man. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Okay. Yeah. And Platinum. Platinum is S+. This game means a lot to me, and this game means a lot to me deep in my heart. That song that was that's just finishing up here, this is the ending theme for Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. And I think that is one of the highlights of Sinnoh. The music in Sinnoh is phenomenal. The best route themes, and just such a memorable region. Aside from that, Platinum took Diamond and Pearl, which, if I were not being biased, would be B tier, but this is a biased list because it's my fucking tier list, so it's going to be A tier. It takes what I think are very good games in Diamond and Pearl and fixes a lot that was wrong with it. Platinum is a lot of fun. I can understand why for some people it's lower, but I think Platinum was also part of that Heartgold Platinum era where these games together are just really special and a lot of fun to play. Platinum brought back the Battle Frontier, and I think a lot of people sleep on. They sleep on the post game island. Honestly, like we always crap on new games for not having enough post game content. Diamond and Pearl were the first game on the DS, and we had a whole post game island. I know it's not like a lot. It's just like a little island, but like, though there were some banger tracks that they didn't have to put that much effort into, but they did. There was a Heat Ran quest There's a battle tower there. You met your rival's dad. Like, aside from that, though, Gen 4 gets bonus points for, Ellie, are you going to be lulling every opinion I have? You're not, actually. But yeah, Gen 4 also has the best starter Pokemon for me. I wouldn't say hands down. It used to be hands down. Until Gen 7 came along. Gen 7's number 2 for me in that regard. But great starter Pokemon, great music. Overall, Diamond Pearl Platinum take what I love about Pokemon, and they do a lot of that right. And they're challenging as well, which is pretty cool. Also, EXP share is easy to get. That's nice. Oh yeah, and the underground, by the way. Tell you, man, Gen 4 is comfort food. You know? No. Either way, Gen 4. I love Gen 4, man. I will say this, though. My love for Gen 4 comes less from the games and more from everything that surrounded the games. You know, the spin-off games and just as a whole. I feel like that was a strong point for Pokemon before Gen 5 came. Shall we do Gen 5? Nah, let's not do Gen 5. Let's do Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. I understand this is going to be a very unpopular opinion, but Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire are S-tier games, and right now, in the last year, I've had a lot of amazing memories with Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, more than any of these games in the upper tiers, and that's just because of just what I've been doing on Twitch and YouTube and whatnot. You know, I haven't been doing too much of these games. I've been doing some casual Heartgold. But Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire are kind of similar to Gen 4, almost in being my second era of... Okay, let me take a step back. Before I started speedrunning Pokemon Alpha Sapphire, I definitely was starting to lose like a love for Pokemon. You know, I was definitely starting to get burnt on it. But I started speedrunning Pokemon Alpha Sapphire, and I have been wanting to play Pokemon every day for like a year now, because there's so many cool speedruns that I want to do now. And it all started with Pokemon Alpha Sapphire, and it's one of the best beginning Pokemon speedruns. Even if it is a troll speedrun, like there's a lot of like sand attacks, and you could like die to sheer cold in the Elite Four. There's all this like crap, but it's an easy game to just pick up. And aside from that, you know, I wouldn't just rank these games on that merit. If it was just that merit, it'd probably be A tier. But what brings it to that S tier upper echelon is how much that you can do with these games. When it comes to my speedruns, I've done all Mega Stones, all trainers. I've done a Wobbuffet run, an Empoleon run. I've done randomizer runs. I've done Wonder Trade runs. I've done bingo runs. On YouTube, we had Cut Their Pokemon Season 2, which massively blew up. Everyone loves Oras when it comes to YouTube because they're colorful, fun games, and that's what I love in a Pokemon game. When you have a game that's colorful and fun, it's a very shallow appeal, but the aesthetic of the game is just really nice. Playing randomizers, I've done so many series of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire because I just don't get tired of them. They're really fun to do randomizers of. They're really fun to do Nuzlockes of. They introduce so many Mega Evolutions. You know, they may not have the Battle Frontier, but they have the Delta episode, which is so cool. You ride on our Rayquaza's back, for fuck's sake. I could even probably talk myself into them being S+. I really genuinely love them that much. And they're really genuinely close to being on that upper echelon, to a point where people call me the 6th gen gamer now. These games have a lot of fun memories to be made in them, and I understand. Oh, I didn't see you there. My power went out. My power actually went out. Hello, YouTube. I'm back. Power went out. I was also just jamming in some Gen 4 music, you know? S+ tier. Love it. Okay. Either way, where was I? Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, great games. Fun times to be had. Memories to be made. Okay. Let's go Pikachu and Eevee. D tier. Do I really hate Kanto that much? Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee are the hardest games to rank. The hardest games to rank. A month ago, I would have ranked these D. Because every time I play these games in the last year, I have dealt with Joy-Con drift on them. But now my Joy-Con drift is gone, so they're more fun. No, these are D tier. Okay, here's Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. You're forced to use a singular Joy-Con. Who do you think I am? Do you think I'm a fucking child? I'm gonna fucking play this game like this? I mean, the game's targeted at children, clearly. Obviously, it's Pokemon. But it shouldn't be made exclusively for children. This is a joke to play a game with a single Joy-Con. That's a joke. I want to use my $70 Pro Controller that I spent $70 on. Did I mention that I bought that controller? My Pro Controller? For $70 and I couldn't use it on Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee? Okay, motion controls are a gimmick. They're interesting, I guess, but I'm not a huge fan. They're nothing more than just interesting. Suffers from Fire Leaf Green Syndrome of no Crobat, Steelix, etc. How watered down they are, like no abilities, no breeding. The fact that catching is how you get experience and battles don't give you much of any experience. Those are all bad things. Those are all bad things. And I understand you can tell me all day, every day, that this was a business move from Pokemon to get people back into Pokemon and it's more friendly to people that haven't played in a long time. That's great for Pokemon and that's great for Game Freak. That gets 0 bonus points for me. I don't really give a fuck. For my own personal opinion and my own personal enjoyment, I don't like these games. If someone hasn't played Pokemon since Red, Blue, Yellow, I would recommend these games to them. I would. Doesn't mean that I like them. I really don't. Oh yeah, they look gorgeous and they sound amazing. But no, just everything else is way overbearing. I understand the appeal to them, though. They have a cool speed run. They're above Fire Leaf Green. I'm not ordering these, but if it were in order, this would be D+, and these would be D or D-. That's just it. Okay, Pokemon Emerald version. Emerald's really good. Emerald is really, really good. It's like A+. Let me be clear. This is higher than Diamond and Pearl. If there was an A+, this would be on A+, this would be A. If I am judging off of the sheer merit of the game, just like the raw content in the game and not like the memories that I've made and etc., like Emerald is a superior game. Like if I'm trying to judge these objectively, not based off of my experiences, Emerald's just better than Diamond and Pearl. Just in terms of content and just... It's just a notch up. If I could rank it higher, I would. Like A+, if there's an A+, I'll put it higher. Emerald's fun. Emerald's a really fun game. I know there's a lot of trumpets in there. A lot of trumpets. But hey, at Battle Frontier, it's a very fun region. I don't care that there's a lot of water in it. It's a really cool region. Oh my goodness. Infernape. Thank you for the 3 months.
Way overdue.
Tearless and balloons, I'm not worthy. Yes. Let's go. It's going to be a great day. Power outages will not stop us. Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it. Get some hype for that, guys. But yeah, I mean, I feel like Gen 3, rather Emerald, really nailed down the exploration vibe. You know, like the Reggie puzzle is nuts. I've never completed it, but that's just nuts. I think the Kyogre versus Groudon theme is really cool. Not like the literal theme, but like the idea of the story is pretty cool. Having 2 teams is pretty innovative as well. Just overall solid. And, you know, Ruby Sapphire are just kind of more of the same, but just, you know, they're just worse games, you know? No Battle Frontier, just less refined. Not by much, though. These are like B+. You know, Ruby Sapphire are good games. Okay. Let me rank Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon. I love the 3DS family of Pokemon games. Gen 7 is some of the best stuff that Game Freak has put out. If there were no cutscenes and the game was faster, if literally just not even the pacing is fine, it's just slow. The whole thing is slow. These would be S+. These would probably be my favorite Pokemon games. Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon and Sun and Moon. Oh, that's interesting, Birch. Yeah. Yeah, no Steven's definitely interesting. But you get to face Steven in, like, Meteor Falls in the depths. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool still. Okay, let me talk about Gen 7. Gen 7 has a really special place in my heart. Before I talk about the actual games, let me just say this. Gen 7 was the mark for me where YouTube and content creation became substantial enough for me to not become full-time because I was still in school, but make that my primary income. And those are the games that I blew up off of. So they'll always have like a special place in my heart for allowing me to do what I love, as you know, what makes ends meet for me. And I think it's no coincidence that that's the game that did that for me. And they're also just games that I have a lot of fun with because, you know, when you make videos, you need to have fun with what you're doing. People are going to tell if you're not enjoying what you're doing. And these are games that I genuinely loved a lot. And I understand a lot of people don't like them. But let me tell you this. I think the two reasons why people don't like the games are cutscenes and because we got two versions instead of one in terms of the sequel. Not sequel, but alternate version. If they had just released Pokemon Star, it would be more well received because it's definitely a money play releasing two games. Black 2, White 2 made a little bit more differences as far as I understand. But that's the first thing, is my personal experience. In terms of the games themselves, these are really fun games. You know, outside of the cutscenes, there's a reason why these are some of the longest speedruns. It's because they're so content heavy. These games have a lot of passion put into them. The music is fantastic. The diversity of environments is wonderful. Probably the weakest part of the region design is that the Victory Road is so short, and that's only in Sun and Moon. Ultra Sun and Moon, they make it a little bit longer still. Not great, but better. Yeah, there's a whole lot of content in these games. Yeah, you have Ultra Wormholes in Ultra Sun and Moon. You have Mantine Surf in Ultra Sun and Moon. You have the Poke Finder, which was an alright feature. You have the Photo Club, which I'm sure someone enjoyed. These games just had a ton of content. You have the Zygarde cubes. You had the totem stickers. There's just so much to do in these games. You have the battle tree. It's not Battle Factory, but that's interesting, you know? This is Insane Three music. I have my music in the bottom left if you want to see. And aside from that, these games get even more bonus points for being the best randomizer games, period. Specifically Ultra Sun and Moon. If your definition of a good randomizer is density of how many Pokemon there are, objectively, they are the best. These have every single Mega Evolution, all Ultra Beasts, and every single Pokemon Gen 1 through 7, including a lot of regional forms. These games are killer. That's why I want to do it for Cutthroat Pokemon, because these have the most Pokemon, more than Sword and Shield. These are the best randomizer games, if you go by that definition. And I do go by that definition. More diverse Pokemon, the better. So, excuse me. These games, they're great. Aside from being a great randomizer game, let's see, I wish the OST of Gen 7 was a bit more diverse, though. A lot of the routes shared the same music, and that lost the speciality of each route song. Yes, I agree. The route songs in Gen 7 are generally really weak. And the Poke Ride music sucks as well. The battle themes are really good, though. Probably the best Wild Encounter theme, even though it's not that great still. It's still better than, like, I think everyone else's. But yeah, I think where Gen 7 music thrives is towns. They killed it with the town themes. Killed it with the town themes. Like, Gen 4 has route themes. Gen 7 has town themes. Like, Mali City, Coney Coney. Trying to think of more. Howley City. Howley City's so good. Seafolk Village is really good, too. Like, the town themes are really good. Gen 5 has both, though. All right, we're talking about Gen 7. Okay. But yeah. All right, so we talked about the content in the games, my personal experience, the randomizer benefit. The final thing I want to talk about is speedruns. You know, speedrunning has become a really important part of my life and, you know, what I'm doing. And I'm currently grinding Pokemon Moon, so big bias there. But these are fantastic Pokemon speedruns. Pokemon Moon is probably from a skill level and like learning perspective, the best beginner speedrun, more than Alpha Sapphire. Alpha Sapphire I would still recommend over Pokemon Moon in terms of it being a lot shorter, but in terms of just the sheer run itself, Moon is great because there's a perfect balance of skill and risk assessment. Like, you have to take a lot of risks still, but there's a lot of ways where you can play safely still. So the game rewards you for taking risks, in terms of the speedrun at least, but also not to a point of being brutal. To be fair, I got flinched back to back times today when I did a run, and that sucked. But outside of that, oh yeah, Ultra Necrozma's theme, Gladion's theme, Guzma's theme. Like, there are a lot of good themes in this game, I'm just saying. Either way, yeah. The speedrun is really cool for Pokemon Moon. Ultra Moon speedrun is quite possibly, a lot of people who've never even run the game see this, quite possibly the coolest route out of all of Pokemon speedrunning, out of all the main routes. This route uses Hawlucha and abuses so many cool tactics. Like, you use the move Fling. So you fling an item, right? And Hawlucha has the ability Unburden. So that increases your speed when you use or lose a held item. So when you use the move Fling, you fling an item. You get a speed boost from Unburden automatically. I don't even think any text pops up. I've done this run like 3 times. And then you can use Acrobatics, which does double damage when you have no item. So it all just works together so perfectly. And there's so many little things that work so cool with that run, like using Zorua to trick Ultra Necrozma into using moves that don't even affect you because of its ability, the illusion ability. I mean, that's crazy, you know? That's so cool. And, you know, I get it. The speedrun's not the game, but the speedrun couldn't exist without the game, and that gets bonus points for me. Also, Rainbow Rocket's so cool. Rainbow Rocket's like everything you wanted to come true as a kid. It's like your dream. Like, all the evil bosses like come together and try and take over the world. They're all from their own universes where they succeeded. Like, you go into Archie's room in Rainbow Rocket, and you see, like, this painting of Hoenn, like, drowned. Like, his wish came true. That's crazy, you know? That's crazy. And I guess the final thing with these games, I have so much to say about these games. It's actually kind of crazy. The challenge. These games are difficult. These games are difficult. I mean, you can make them easy. But the trainer data for these games, guys, so many Pokemon have like 252 EVs and like multiple stats and like 31 IVs and like a bunch of stats. And like, these are not easy games. You know, if you grind and you make it easy for yourself, you know, any Pokemon game can be easy. But especially Ultra Sun and Moon, these are hard games. And that's something that they did change from Sun and Moon to Ultra Moon and, you know, and Ultra Sun. They're hard games. That our dream was to join the evil team. Fair play. Fair play. Regardless, I think these games are phenomenal. And you guys heard how many good things I had to say about them. They would be S+ if they were not so goddamn slow. Specifically, the first island is ridiculously slow. Let me be clear here. After the first island, this game is 100% an S+ for me. But the first island is such a C. It's such a C, and I hate to say that. The first island really isn't great. The best part of the first island is Howley City. That's it. And even then, they hold your hands, but at least the music's nice and the scenery is great. Also, one last thing. It's a tropical intergalactic adventure. How is it not the coolest Pokemon game ever? That's awesome. Okay. Gen 7 had a lot to say about it. I've been playing it recently. Let's go into... What do you want me to do next, guys? Gold, Silver, Crystal, Black 2, White 2, Black, White, XY, or Sword and Shield? Oh, and the other thing that sucks about Gen 7 is they got rid of a lot of like shiny hunting methods. Like no hordes, Dex Nav. I know Dex Nav is kind of like an exclusive thing, but like to Hoenn, but save Gen 5 for last. That might be a good idea. But yeah, I'm not much of a shiny hunter, so if I was a shiny hunter, I'd maybe bring these down to A+. If I really was into Friend Safari, Hordes, all that stuff. I didn't like SOS, but I liked the Gen 6 methods. If you like SOS, then hey, maybe even that brings it up. Okay, Sword and Shield. I mean, this kind of makes sense. We're going over the new era of Pokemon. Oh, Sword and Shield, man. How do I rank Sword and Shield? Oh, Sword and Shield are the most polarizing games for me, even. Okay, to be clear, I'm ranking these with the DLC, because if you get the game today, it's going to be with DLC. I am accounting for that. If I am getting the game today, it is with DLC. Without DLC, they're a solid C. I can say that for sure. Pokemon Sword and Shield are B. I have had some good times with these games. I genuinely have. They suffer from Diamond Pearl XY syndrome. You know, the first game on a new console. However, it really showed here, and there was just not a lot of love in these games. And I'm not saying that in the sense of, like, the developers didn't have passion, or they didn't love what they were making. It was just that they were crunched. They didn't have time to make a game that they loved. At least not to a point where they could, you know... Okay, yes. All right. Asterisk, yes. Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee were the first on the Switch. Fair point. Fair play. However, I believe these were in development at the same time as these. And also, to be fair, these are brand new games. They've made Kanto on Red, Blue, Yellow, Gold, Silver, Crystal, Fire, Leaf, Green, Heart, Gold, Soul, Silver. They're used to making Kanto. Like, it's not like... It's a fair point, though. They should have had their shit together more. That is a fair point. We can meet halfway. I agree. So, Sword and Shield... it just did so much right, but so much wrong. They didn't bring in the whole Pokedex. You can't turn off the EXP share. But competitive battling is more accessible than ever. And the Crown Tundra is sick. And Dynamax adventures are a lot of fun. And Crown Tundra specifically is phenomenal. But they ruined the speedrun by adding, like, bag lag. Because they don't know how to optimize their freaking game so that every time you access the bag, now it takes mad extra time. No Mega Evolutions. Also, the audio balancing on this game sucks. You'll go from, like, this loud to then they Dynamax, and it's, like, this fucking loud, and it pisses me off, because every time I want to stream, I have to, like, carefully monitor the audio so it doesn't blast out everyone's eardrums. If I'm a battler, this is A tier, though. I gotta say. This is a fantastic game for battles, but for Nuzlockes, for casual playthroughs, for Shiny Hunters... Before Dynamax Adventures, before Shiny Hunters. That's or for. Before Dynamax Adventures, Shiny Hunting was really not great. You have Masuda Method, that's better than ever. But besides that, there's really... What do you have, you know? Sword and Shield, man. One of the highlights for me with Sword and Shield, the only thing that has stuck with me, is speedrunning. That's the only thing, really. Dynamax Adventures are cool, and they're really nice. And they did a great job with that. Besides that, though... it's really cool seeing Pokemon speedrunning be more active than ever, really. And so much innovation happening with Pokemon speedrunning. So many routes have been made for these games. So many cool ideas have been come up with for these games. You know, we have a speedrun that does all the DLC. We have a speedrun where you beat the game with a fucking Crustle. There are multiple routes for these games. It's honestly a pretty dang good beginner game as well. Yeah, the timer's bad in Sword and Shield. Like, they just did so many easy things wrong. They did so many easy things wrong. Like, adding a button for the EXP share. Like, come on. It's like... And it sucks, because for everything they did wrong, there's something that they did right. Like having no cutscenes and the audio mixer. To be fair, these are Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee features, but Sword and Shield gets credit for them. It has them. And that's going to help them age better. Regardless, these are B-tier games. There are good times to be had. And... DLC saved this game. I blame Let's Go for the timer. They should have learned from that mistake. For sure. That shouldn't have been a thing. Elliot, what do I do next? Gen 5, Gen 2, or XY? What do you guys think of my tier list so far? Yes, that is correct, Elliot. All right, X and Y. All right, getting all my knowledgeable games out of the way, so I'm going to sound like a dunce for the last part of the tier list. X and Y? X and Y have the most lackluster story, some of the worst music in the series, even if it is good music. Pokemon just sets the bar that incredibly high. And these games are so easy. And this is the transition from 2D to 3D. And there's virtually no post game in this. I know that there is Killwood City, Battle Chateau, or Chatelair, or whatever. And yet, I love these games. Despite all those things, it doesn't have going for them. I really, really like Pokemon X and Y. These games are really special to me. To me, these games marked a new era in the Pokemon community in a way. That's when I got into Pokemon. I feel like that is when you saw a new boom of Poketubing, because it's not like Poketubing started in X and Y, but this was the era when shiny hunting communities really became like a thing. Like, this is Friend Safari. This is horde hunting. This is chain fishing. This is Poke Radar. Eventually DexNav when Oras embraced the shiny hunting craze. This is the era that introduced Mega Evolution. This is the era that introduced, PSS, Wonder Trades. The 3D actually looked pretty darn good in my opinion for Pokemon. It had a charm to it. The French influence on the game, I think it was great. And I was trying to bait you guys by saying that the music is the worst in the series. But joke's on you guys. I love the music. And it is some of the worst in the series. I mean, you compare that to everything else on this list, it is some of the worst. But if everything else is S tier music and S+, then this is A tier. The route themes in this game are phenomenal. And, you listen to like the route themes and Sillage City and all these other cool themes that the game has. It's cool. This is the first game that introduced character customization, guys, and custom clothing. That's special. That's special. This game introduced so many things. Literally, it introduced PSS, Wonder Trades, which is a part of PSS, Mega Evolution, a barrage of shiny hunting methods. Like, this game introduced so much, and I think they did such a great job of making this friendly to people who haven't played Pokemon in a while, like giving you the Kanto starters. Not to mention, let me interject, this game is so much fun for randomizers because you get the starter Pokemon, you get the first route free encounter, the forest, which by the way is modeled after Viridian Forest. That's just neat. The Viridian Forest, Santaloon Forest is guaranteed encounter. You get another encounter, rather a starter Pokemon at the Sycamore's lab. Like, these games did a lot. These games did a lot. The strengths of these games are built off of the strengths of X and Y. Without Mega Evolution, without Wonder Trades, without the shiny hunting methods that they added, like, these games would be worse. They just would be. And X and Y is what started it. Gen 6 was all about the features, honestly, and they fucking killed it. They did. They did. And by the way, yes, the shopping, yes, the custom clothes. Like, think about it. The custom clothing, man. It started in X and Y, and there were some options, man. You know? And by the way, I hate when people say these games are easy. Like, out of all the 3DS games, they're the easiest. But it's really so simple. You just need to turn off the EXP share. That's literally all you need to do. Boom, the games are all of a sudden... They're not hard, but they're not easy. And if you actually want a challenge, boom, set mode. Those are literally... You don't even have to come up with an expansive rule set. Those are two things just built into the game. You're not meant to play the game with the EXP share.
Wondering if you could play that song again.
Which one, man?
The one that goes...
Anyway. Contrary to what I just said, though. I know, Elliot. It's crazy. With that being said, these are the easiest of the 3DS games, in my opinion. And I have a theory. Let me just arrange this like this just for a second. I could probably put this in S tier, honestly. I could convince myself. In my opinion, all the Pokemon games on the 3DS, they ramped up in difficulty. X and Y was the easiest. ORAS was a bit harder. Sun and Moon was harder. Ultra Sun and Moon was harder than that. You know, you ramp up. You start on the 3DS with X and Y. You know, you get to Ultra Sun and Moon. They are hard games. They are hard games. They are challenging. Why do levels dictate difficulty, though? I feel like difficulty should be more concentrated on trainers having type coverage and moves and things like that. I mean, we could talk about their teams and stuff. I mean, there's a reason why the X and Y speedrun is so difficult. You get to Grant. Grant is really hard. Grant is hard. Seabold is hard. Like, the trainers in X and Y are not the easiest. When we compare Ruby Sapphire to Emerald to ORAS, ORAS is very, very easy. Yep. Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. Yeah, among the 3DS crowd, though. Yeah. Excuse me. This song is insane. But yeah, X and Y are great. I love the 3DS era. It's just fantastic. Also, X and Y, like I said, very good randomizer games. Oh yeah, Fairy type too. Yeah. Dude, X and Y literally brought so much to the table. It's crazy. It's crazy how much X and Y brought to the table. Sylveon. Hey, Pokemon and Me is neat. Led all the way up to Pokemon Refresh. And Pokemon Camp in a way. Couldn't have that without X and Y, man. There are literally so many things you could not have without X and Y. Okay. Let me do Gen 2, because I'm going to finish off with Gen 5. Okay. I have no opinion on Gen 2. I really can't. I'm gonna... When I say no opinion, I mean no strong opinion. My experience with the original Gen 2 games are their remakes, playing Pokemon Christmas version, which is a ROM hack of Pokemon Gold once a year on Christmas with speed up button, and I've played Pokemon Gold like twice on YouTube, like very quickly. They're good. You couldn't have Heartgold without them. Like, Crystal Speed Choice is great. I think there's definitely something to be said for, you know, even just Keys, how much content he's gotten out of Crystal. I mean, the game can't be that bad if you can do key item randomizers, Cinco Bingo, battleships, all this other stuff. Like, I don't know, the games just lack like a zing to me. Like, I'm not, you know, maybe in 3 years from now, eventually I'll learn the Crystal speedrun and I'll be like, oh wow, this game's actually really dope. But like, honestly, I can kind of rank on Gen 2 a little bit here. Like, yo, the Moodster, thanks for the raid, dude. How's your stream? Honestly, the two biggest weaknesses of Johto for me, and I say Johto because this is the weakness of Heartgold Soul Silver, is number one, the level curve is ass. And number two, the game introduces good Pokemon that you can't access. Like Houndour or Slugma. Did you guys even know that Slugma is a Gen 2 Pokemon? Boy, it is. You don't even know that. That's so dumb. And that's such an easy thing. Why didn't they just, like, there's so many routes where I find, like, Pidgeys late into the game. Why? Why are the only cool Pokemon I could access early in the game are, like, Mareep and Wooper? I'm tired of using Mareep and Wooper. I use them every playthrough. They're the only good Pokemon. You either get Slugma from an egg or Kanto. That's so dumb. But, hey. They have the benefits I said earlier, and you can't have Heartgold Soul Silver without them. And they have Kanto on a Game Boy chip. That's insane. They're like a high C. They're better than Gen 1 for me, for sure. Maybe Crystal goes B-. Crystal's B. Yep, and you're right, Elliot. You're totally right about that. Yeah, the Mareep. Yeah. Thank God for Mareep, man. The route south of Blackthorn is very disappointing. I agree. Okay. Finally, let's talk about Gen 5. Let's talk about Gen 5. It's disappointing because it's at the end of the game. It's at the very end and your team's already assembled. It's like... And you're catching the legendary at that point, so you're already having to remove something from your team. It's like... Okay, let's talk about Gen 5. Let's talk about Gen 5. Let's sit down and have a talk here. I don't know if I can skip to a Gen 5 song. Oh, no, Sheep. I mad respect. You gotta do it. You gotta do it. There we go. Okay. So let me preface this with my previous experiences with Black and White and Black 2, White 2. My first experience with Gen 5 was Pokemon White 2. I played it when I was younger. I had a fun time with it. My next experience was one of my first YouTube series. It was Pokemon Blaze Black. Or no, Volt White. No, it was Blaze Black. Pokemon Blaze Black Egglock. It was very hard. I died very quickly, and it was a while until I went back. I died after the first gym. My next experience was I did a Volt White 2 Hexlock. It was fun. I did complete that. So I do have a decent amount of experience with White 2 in terms of I've completed it twice. However, it's been like 5 years. And 5 years ago was Volt White 2. Hexlock is, I think you get 6 Pokemon and that's it for like the entire game. But you get to choose which Pokemon they are as you go through the game. It's pretty cool, actually. Very challenging. You have to like really be careful with who you pick. Okay. And my final experience was when I finally beat Pokemon Black and White in Wager Wars, YouTube series I did with Elliot. It was a lot of fun because it was Wager Wars. And I specifically played with an instant text mod on the game to make sure I did not read any of the story and did not get the full Gen 5 experience. So, it was very much a YouTube series, kind of beat the game quickly. Those are my 4 experiences. So I've not fully, authentically experienced Black and White. Now, with that being said, let's talk about personal strengths and weaknesses I have for these games. Okay. Music in these games are great. They're very good. I really like the music. It's in the upper echelon. It doesn't beat out Gen 4 for me. I know that's like a contested thing. But it's probably second best. It's probably second best. So the music's phenomenal. Here's my problem with Gen 5. You know, the reasons why I like a lot of these games at the top here. A lot of it, it's like I said, it's like comfort food, you know? Gen 5 took a risk. And they tried to make something really a lot more sophisticated than they normally would. And as a result, a lot of the design choices I don't really like. For example, I hate the starter Pokemon. Our third firefighting type, Samurott. I love water starters, but I hate Samurott. Superior sucks. I really just genuinely don't like them. They are my least favorite in the series by far. And that's your first taste. The starter Pokemon of a generation are so important to me. You know, there's a reason why Gen 7 is so high up. I forgot to mention that for Gen 7. Some of the best starters ever, man. Incineroar? Alright, I'm back. Hello. Hello. Yeah, they said they'd be here in a few minutes. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Hopefully, if there is an issue, they can solve it. They might have to, like, mess with our breaker, so I might need to go offline as well again. Either way, I don't know. We just called them. We just called maintenance, and they didn't say it was, like... They didn't say it wasn't an issue. They were just like, we'll come by and check. So, like, I don't know. It doesn't sound like, oh, there's an issue. They're working on it. So, I don't know. Okay, let's continue. Gen 5. We're talking about starter Pokemon. Yes, I just personally don't like the starters. I really don't. I don't think they're good. I don't like the beginning of the game Pokemon as well. Like, Lillipup's cool, but I really don't like Pidove. I get it in Pheasant. You know, New York City, pigeons. I don't like Patrat. Like, at least Bidoof is, like, ironically funny. And, you know, Zigzagoon is at least, like, practical, because, like, pickup. Onigar, thank you for the 15 months. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, wait, my stream deck is not working. Well, go figure. I'm going to put some hype in the chat. There we go. Thank you, guys. Get some hype for that. Thank you so much. They're so ugly. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, Gen 5 introduced so many Pokemon. That's, like, one of the biggest strengths that, people always say about Gen 5 is that, like, they introduced so many Pokemon, but, like, it's, like, a lot of them are great. Crocodile's amazing. You know, Darmanitan is amazing. But for every one of those, you have, you know, Kling Clang, and Clink, and whatever. And that's a good evolution. That's an okay Pokemon. It's good, I guess. But it's like, You have, like, Zebstrika, who's, like, cool design, but kind of a little bit of a letdown when you actually use him. Like, kind of just worse Luxray, honestly. And, like, you know, the monkeys suck. Simisage, Simisear, just all of those. I just don't like them. But that's the thing, right? When you add so many Pokemon, you automatically are likely to get a higher sheer amount of Pokemon that are good. You know, it's like they say a broken clock is right twice a day, you know? Or like, you know, you throw a bunch of knives at the wall, try to hit a target, you know? Obviously, a lot are going to hit, but there are so many misses in terms of designs, in my opinion. Even like Basculin. I'm just not a big Basculin fan. It's a concept. I don't really like it that much. Yeah. You know? Stunfisk is like, eh. Galarian Stunfisk is more interesting, but even then, it's like, eh. Like, Gen 5 was the opposite of pandering. If X and Y and, like, new games over pander, you know, like giving you Kanto starters and whatnot, Gen 5 under pandered. Like, they literally, Black and White had 0 new Pokemon, or 0 old Pokemon return. And I respect it. Like, I remember, this is what, Tama said when she was in Twitch chat. We were talking about Pokeathon, at Pokeathon, like Pokemon games. They get an A for effort. They really do. These games are so content rich, as content rich, or if not more content rich than Gen 7. And they get an A for effort. But even like Hydreigon, right? Hydreigon is a very good Pokemon. But when you compare it to other like other pseudo legends, it's one of my least favorites. Dragonite's iconic, Tyranitar's iconic. Gen 2 introduced 2 pseudos and I like them better than Hydreigon. Metagross is amazing. Salamence is really cool. Salamence is only a little better than Hydreigon to me. Garchomp's amazing. I don't like Goodra and Komodo, so it's better than those. But up to that point in Gen 5, like, a lot of the categorical Pokemon for me, the starter Pokemon, the bird Pokemon, the beginning of the game HM Slave, like, are all just a bump lower. And that's a real shame. And then there's the other part where I just don't even like New York City that much. I live in New York. I don't like New York City that much. I just don't. You know, the overcrowdedness of Castelia, that's the main city, right? It's just a mess. That city's a mess. I hate Castelia. I get lost in there. It's like Lumiose City. How I get lost in Lumiose. I hate that about Lumiose. It's just rough. You know, you have this syndrome in Gen 5 where, like, they over-pixelated the game. They got so detailed and tried so hard that on a little 3DS or DS, you can't make out the details because the pixels, like, overlap over each other. You know, you try and fit 100 people crossing a street, walking back and forth very busily. It's not going to look good. It just didn't. Play Gen 5 on an upscaled emulator, it's going to look phenomenal. But so does Gen 7 and Gen 6 and Gen 5 and Gen 4. Too bad. And I can't fully appreciate the Gen 5 stories, so I gotta plead ignorance there. I just can't. I can't. I don't know the Gen 5 story, and I have not gotten the genuine, authentic experience. However, I can say for a fact that at least right now, my appeal for Pokemon is not the story. I don't sit down and go on my 3DS and play Pokemon for a story. And sure, it's nice when you get that sort of benefit, and that's a perk of a game. But that's not why I play Pokemon. I play Pokemon for the collection aspect, now for the speedrunning aspect, for the co-op aspect, and I genuinely, personally, in my personal taste, could care less about the story. You could literally, if the option, if there was a choice for them to take out all of the story in the game and just have you be a kid and living a normal life, I would be okay with that. That's not to say that story doesn't give, like, a ranking, like, bonus points or whatnot. Like, story's neat. But I really could personally care less. I have fun playing Pokemon Showdown. I have fun speeding through Pokemon games with the speed up button on and doing randomizers where I mash through the text and don't read any dialogue. I speedrun. It's like, if I want to play a game for story, I'll be honest, I probably won't play a game. I'll probably watch a movie before I play a game. That's just not what I play for, you know? With that being said, that's my harsh opinion. I understand that these games present a unique value proposition that no other Pokemon game has offered in this way. And I do appreciate that there are a lot of people that love Gen 5 for its story. And for the music, for the aesthetic, and a lot of my opinions are subjective. You know, these are subjective opinions. Oh, and the speedrun is not that accessible because the RNG manip is based off your MAC address, so that sucks. Oh yeah, and the worst anime. But hey, those are not the games. I can't knock them for that. So Gen 5, where do I even put you, man? Gen 5, Black and White are going to be B tier. And Black 2, White 2 will be A tier. As much as I say that I don't like about them, you can't have a bad game and have so many people love it. And that gets at least a little bit of bonus points for me. And, you know, above all else, I had a good time playing White 2. It was not something special, but good times were had. I was not frustrated with the game. I didn't find myself regretting playing it or anything. And that it was just a genuinely fun time. I'm like, let's go Pikachu and Eevee, which by the second playthrough, I was like, why is there Pidgey on every single route? So that's my tier list. That's my tier list. Very flexible on Black and White and Black 2 White 2, though. I'm going to do proper playthroughs of them within the next year or two. And that can very well adjust their ranking. And I'll do another one of these rankings in probably another 2 years. Chat, give me your review of my tier list. In the meantime, I'm going to look at my 2019 tier list. And I'm going to see how much my opinion has changed. Every Pokemon in all 8 generations. That sounds awful. Okay. Nice. Okay, not much has changed. Let's Go Eevee is D tier. Pretty reasonable. Wow. Cool. Holy shit, I put so many games in C tier. Wow, back when I didn't like Sun and Moon, man. Sun and Moon are overhated, man. Even by myself. Hold on. I gotta listen to my opinion on Sun and Moon, because my opinion has changed drastically on Sun and Moon. What did you even say, Josh? What did you say, my dude? With that being said... Hey, with that being said, I say that still. We're gonna hold off on that, actually. I want to do some other ones that'll fill in the blanks and maybe give some more context for this whole entire list. We're gonna go with Sun and Moon next. That's what I'm gonna do next. Sun and Moon is really tough. I'm hovering between a B and a C, because I love Sun and Moon. I really do, but... Tell him, King.
If I were to go back and play that right now, they're not bad. But having Ultra Sun and Moon, I think that places it at the C rank.
You, my friend, still need to learn about the world of speedrunning.
As opposed to Ultra Sun and Moon. Ultra Sun and Moon, I'm not gonna lie. I'm between an A and a B. I really loved Ultra Sun and Moon. I know it's somewhat.
You were a closet Ultra Sun and Moon fan, Josh. Look, I was concealing it. I was concealing it, man. Okay, let's have a look. Let's go tier by tier here. Let's see what the end result was. Wow, Oras was S tier. I guess it still is S tier. You know what? Let's just make it even, Steven. Let's make it even, Steven. It's probably a little weird to have this many games in S tier, but... I feel strongly about this. Yeah. Even if these are higher S. It's a good list. I'd switch Fire, Leaf Green with Red, Blue, Yellow, though. Yeah. Fair. Alright, so S tier is very similar as 2 years ago, except Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun and Moon jumped up drastically. All of them are now S tier. Big thanks to... Honestly, big thanks to speedrunning. And big thanks to Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee and Sword and Shield just overall being kind of letdown games. And I think Gen 7 just has aged rather well. Okay, A tier, XY, Emerald. Wow. Solid. Diamond and Pearl are B tier. They're still a fun time. They're not A tier, though. They're not A tier. They're just not. You can't have Platinum without Diamond and Pearl, but... The HP bar, man. See, B tier grew. Wow, Black and White. Look at that. Black and White moving up in the world. It's now B tier. Honestly, pretty similar rankings. Ruby Sapphire moved up. Ruby Sapphire speed choice has been really nice. That probably helped that a bit as well. Wow, similar list. My taste has not changed that much. The biggest changes overall are, besides Sword and Shield being a thing now, Gen 7 has shot up drastically, and Gen 5 has jumped up a bit as well. All right, let's speed it up. Pokemon games are just good. I agree.